And this is why I love stocks. So let's round up MasterCard's free cash flow yield to 3%. And let's say that MasterCard grows its free cash flow at 15% year over year, which is what it does. It genuinely grows its free cash flow at 15% year over year. An example of this would be that last year's free cash flow is $100, whereas this year's free cash flow is $115. This graph that I've drawn, it shows it has time on the bottom and percentage yield on the side. So this 5% here, this yellow line, that is flat, or I've tried to make it flat pretty poorly. And this represents a government bond, or this represents a bond. So a bond, essentially, in short, let's say you loan your money to the government in the form of a bond, and they will pay you a fixed rate of 5%. Now, this is why savings accounts offer you something like 4% return, because what they do is you give them the money, they just lend it out to the government as a bond at 5%, they take 1%, and they give you back 4%. So you can put your money into this, and it will give you 5% every year, first year, second year, third year, fourth year, fifth year, you'll get 5% back on the money you receive. Now, let's have a look at stocks. Let's have a look at MasterCard and what MasterCard will do. So MasterCard has a free cash flow yield of 3%. So it starts down here at 3%. So from the first year, you start at 3%. And what happens if it grows its free cash flow at 15% year over year? Well, this is what happens. So what do we see here? The free cash flow yield, or the yield that you will get on your cash that you've invested, has increased to 3% at year 0 to 6% in 5 years. Now, do you notice anything? The free cash flow yield has doubled. It's doubled. Now, if you have a company growing free cash flow at 15% year over year, you should expect the free cash flow yield to double every 5 years. So let's see what happens when we continue going. So we're looking at 10 years now, and now we're receiving a 12%. This is a yearly return on your money. So now you're receiving 12%. So what we begin to see is that bond initially over the first 4 years was returning more than MasterCard, the stock. But when you start to hold stocks for a longer period than 4 years, if you're starting at 3% free cash flow yield, you begin to see that stocks far, far outperform bonds. Now, what happens if we continue this? We go 15 years. 15 years, we're looking at 24%. 24% every year back on your initial investment. And obviously, keep doing this, and it's exponential. This is why companies like MasterCard are called compounders. So after 20 years, we're looking at 48% year over year from the initial investment we made 20 years ago.